a very good morning to all respected people, and a special thanks to Dr. Prakash and team for organizing this conference and for inviting me for this particular keynote address. I would not waste much time because I think so. I would just like to sum up my introduction as a learner and collaborator. I would just like to share my screen. I hope it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, I would like to focus today upon global technology innovations and research opportunities in the new normal. It is very fortunate that I have been given the chance, maybe after some spiritual enlightenment by Dr. Siddharth and economic enlightenment by Dr. Milay, actually. And I'm looking forward to this from a technology angle. So what I'm going to focus upon is what are the changes that the new normal is bringing in the environment and technological advancement which will help us, and the research opportunities and challenges involved. I would not like to take the name of the pandemic because it actually has a psychological fear associated with it. Whenever we talk about COVID, people are a little bit disturbed. So we call it the new normal, wherein we are going to change according to the requirements. So what are the new normal characteristics that is currently in focus? Certainty and fear. It is both economical as well as social, as well as job related insecurity also. Those who are in jobs, those who are in business, they have suffered a lot because they have not been able to change digitally. So uncertainty and fear is one characteristics which probably is redefining the new normal. Social distancing, due to which lot of changes have come in the behavior, human behavior. We have been too much uncomfortable following the social distancing norms because it is difficult to change overnight. Lockdown phobia, there is always a phobia, whether it is the stock market or whether it is a government or whether it is the public at large. They are at a constant fear of lockdown, that again, will the lockdown 2, lockdown 3, lockdown 4, lockdown 5, there are different stages. So will it be implemented again? Will the cases increase? There are unprecedented changes at the workplace. Like suppose if I say, I take the example of schools and colleges. That is the best example. Work from home has given a lot of challenges to school teachers. uh, I find a lot of school teachers who were not earlier comfortable using mobiles now are using laptops and are teaching online. They had to change themselves. They had to redefine their entire way of teaching. They were more comfortable teaching on the blackboard. They have shifted to digital means. So unprecedented changes are required here, and that is the need for the survival. A lot of mental trauma people are going through, whether they are in hospital. Even if you view the social media or the news channels, we are flooded with a lot of negative information. So mental trauma is affecting people in a very different manner, for which we have psychological, I mean, awareness sessions. We are having counseling sessions being arranged by people, by psychologists. So this is changing the entire way the whole people are mindset is going. Healthcare awareness, this is the positive side I would like to say, because healthcare awareness is increased. I've seen many people right now going with family on cycling mode. They are going for jogging. They are too much aware about their immunity levels. So this is the probably the positive part of this particular new normal, that we have actually come to a kind of awareness of our own health, what we need to do, what we eat, how we exercise, how we want to actually maintain our health, how we are caring about our family. All this has changed a lot. So healthcare awareness is a positive part of this. Digital transformation has taken place. Everything has become online right now. I remember a lot of people actually who were earlier averse to using mobiles for ordering goods now are ordering goods on Big Basket, Zomato, uh, Grofers, all these apps, Amazon. So we are seeing a digital transformation taking place, and due to that, online boom is also taking place. Now, online boom, what I mean to say here is that probably right now we are on Zoom, right? Zoom is the biggest beneficiary of this particular segment because we have seen that Zoom was the first to introduce online platform with all the security features and with all the features. Still, probably Zoom is the leader. And if you see the profit figures from the commercial angle, I think so. Many people here who are in the economic domain would like to talk about Zoom a lot more than other players. So other players have followed through, but Zoom has benefited the most from this particular new normal that we are facing. Now, I'd just like to focus upon my personal aspect here. That I told you at the initial part that whatever introduction was given, that was all fine. It was based on the previous experience. But right now, I'm a collaborator and a learner, right? What I mean by collaboration is that if you want to innovate, the innovation mantra is that you need collaboration. Now, I'll tell you my example that I am right now working since January 2021. I'm working on 3 edited books, and one is by IGI Global, one is by the publishers are River Publishers, which is from Denmark, which is a very prestigious publisher, and third one is Bentham Science. Now, all these three particular tie-ups, my co-editors, whom I have tied up with for this particular edited book, are all from some of them are from outside India, some of them are from different parts of India. I have not met them directly physically before this. So probably from January, if I say I have collaborated with them, I have maintained an online meeting with them. We have discussed all the things, and then we have collaborated for these books. Similarly, for the patent also, I have one patent to my name also, to my credit also, and this patent is basically in the field of agriculture for the farmers, and this also is a collaborative effort because in this new normal we are not able to meet physically the people whom we want to actually exchange our ideas with. So probably this is what we are talking about. So collaboration is the key game changer over here. If you want innovation, you need collaboration, and if you don't collaborate, you are left behind, whether it is academics, whether it is business, whether it is any kind of aspect. Even spiritual collaboration is also required. If we have good speakers speaking to us online and we are getting some good inputs from that, that is actually a part where we are collaborating with that person for our improvement. Communication, again, this is very important. When we have physical or social distancing taking place, the communication also has been affected a lot. So actually among the young students or young public, it is not much because they are already hooked to the internet and hooked to the mobiles, WhatsApp, etc., Facebook, etc. So they are already on the social media. But for elderly people, from middle-aged people, it has become a challenge because communication has almost stopped. They have been confined to their homes where they are not communicating with their friends. They are not sharing their ideas with their friends. They are confined to their homes. So that was one of the reasons why I included communication into it, because for communication, effective communication to take place, you need to share thoughts, you need to have questions, ask questions, you need to have innovative ideas, and then you need to plan for those solutions. So that is communication. Third one is creativity. When I talk about creativity, different approaches of getting to the solution of that. And fourth one is critical thinking, where you are talking about out of the box, where out of the box thinking actually is required for us to progress in this fashion. So these four mantras, actually, this mantra of 4C is very instrumental for innovation. Now, just I'm now looking to my domain where I'm actually going to classify this effect of the COVID upon us, where we have actually, I've identified it into 8 ways that emerging technologies are tackling this. First way is lockdown economy for cities. Now, see, economy has been affected in a very bad manner since last March 2020. It has been very difficult for companies. though IT companies have benefited a lot, I was coming to that actually. IT companies have actually, including TCS, Infosys, and a lot of IT companies, have benefited a lot from the lockdown because they have decreased their expenses, and they have implemented work from home, and they have really even given increments to the employees by a huge margin. So overall, it is beneficial for the IT domain. But overall, if you see a lot of companies which were into the manufacturing sector, they are facing a lot of challenges. So when we are talking about lockdown economy for cities, again, when the lockdown happens, there are a lot of other issues coming up, like how do you do the surveillance, whether the lockdown is being implemented properly or not, whether the businesses are following the lockdown or not, whether distancing norms are being followed or not right now. So smart surveillance systems are required. So smart surveillance system is one effect of lockdown economy, which we call about for the cities. Then location based system, you need location tracking to be done very effectively. So that is one domain which has come up a lot. Online civic services. Previously, government, whatever transactions we needed to go to the offices and get the things done. Now, a lot of things are being done online. So online civic services are being offered. Indoor farming. Now, a lot of people have turned to indoor farming, where they have farming in their own house, and they are not actually occupying large farms, but they are occupying small space and they're doing indoor farming. And organic farming is following suit. So this is one of the best ways in which technology can be used. Autonomous stores, we don't have a shopkeeper, we have autonomous stores which are run by robots. That can be the future. Prefabricated construction, as I told you, that construction activity or these activities can be again carried out by certain segment which are not humans, because physical distancing needs to be maintained. So that is not possible in construction sites, etc. So this is one thing which we can do. Sickness mapping, again, you need to map different areas where the levels of infections are more, and accordingly steps need to be taken. So a lot of economy related to lockdown for cities, a lot of systems can be in place. Then you have lockdown economy for industry, where we have real-time supply chain monitoring. This monitoring system is very useful. We are now able to track where our material is. Similarly, industries are able to track where their raw material is, how much raw material is being dispatched, what is the state of the raw materials, whether any expiry is there of the raw materials or not. So supply chain monitoring systems are well in place right now. There are a lot of solutions for this. Fleet management is also taking place. Autonomous vehicles. Now, though India has not moved too much to this extent, actually we have a self-driving car, or we have an autonomous vehicle coming into the picture, where we will avoid, the future is going to be that the cabs that we book would not be having a driver. It is going to be an autonomous vehicle which would actually take you to your destination. So something like that, this can prevent the infection spread effectively. Augmented reality, again, AR, VR is a field which is very much into the picture. And probably when entertainment is going to be the domain, we need to have this AR, VR as a very basic necessity in our future transactions. Digital factory is what we are talking about, where we are talking about all the things being done through digital means. So these are all the aspects that we are going to look at. Lockdown management for individuals. So this is very much true for us, like shared streaming and entertainment. Now, which are the industries that gained the most during the lockdown? Probably this was the industry where we had all the Amazon Primes, Netflix, and all that in huge demand. They have huge subscriptions. We had online learning platforms, huge subscriptions like Vedantu, Byju's. These all have done quite well during this particular lockdown stage. So we are seeing a lot of changes. A lot of other new avenues are coming, like now those who are counseling people, they are in huge demand. So now online counseling is going to be one of the futures. Like you have loneliness management solutions. Now we have never heard about this earlier. Loneliness management was only for elderly people earlier, whose son and daughters are abroad, and they don't have anybody with them. They need loneliness management to be done. But now we are seeing that even young people, even middle-aged people are going through this. So lonely, they are facing a lot of stress. They are facing a lot of aloofness. 14 days or 15 days also in isolation is going to be a big challenge for people because they are not habituated to it. Stress and anxiety is there, so that reduction is also a big challenge. So a lot of challenges here and a lot of solutions are being provided for this. So there are a lot of apps. In our university, we have started this counseling wherein they can book their slots and they can talk to our counselor who will counsel them about this. So students are availing this facility a lot. And we were earlier thinking that maybe 1 or 2 students may avail of it, but on a daily basis, we are getting at least 10 or lowest, if I say 5, that means 5 to 10 students are calling up every day and availing counseling for stress, anxiety, for loneliness, and all these problems. Right? So this is a huge industry which is going to be there, and online a lot of features are there. Food and grocery delivery, this is actually those provision stores or those stores which are not having a home delivery system, which are not having online ordering, they are now suffering. Indoor workout platforms, so this is very important. There are some companies coming up with such games which can be played indoor, and they are having some videos for that, and they are giving some kind of points or reward points also for that. So a lot of innovations coming in this particular domain also. Then you have remote healthcare. Now healthcare is one sector which is in demand, and at least till the next 2 3 years we'll see this particular sector facilities coming up like in huge quantity. Remote monitoring is one system. Actually, I would just like to tell you that when my family members were affected, we did not go to the hospital. We were it was a minor infection, so we were asked to stay here, and we did video conferencing with our doctor, and we got the treatment from there. So what I means, this is remote monitoring of healthcare facilities, so that is possible by patients also, of the hospitals also. Everything is possible. Telehealth, very much possible. Like telephonically you can monitor the health, doctor can monitor the health. Repository monitoring, again, whatever respiratory monitoring, repository and respiratory, both the monitorings are possible. Respiratory monitoring, what I mean is that your vital parameters like oxygen level, etc., that also needs to be monitored. So there are some apps, like I would like to tell you in the future slides, that there's an app called which is related to lung care, which will actually give the doctor and that app through your, just you have a particular symptom, it will immediately convey to the doctor. There are a lot of wearable devices also which are coming, which will actually change the dimension of healthcare. So what we are talking about here is a lot of changes in the healthcare sector. Wearable sensors, as I told you, that will sense the vital parameters and convey to the doctors. There are a lot of prevention measures also which can be taken, like disinfectant, spit disposal. We have the habit, I mean, in India, it's very difficult to control the spitting habit of people, whether it is tobacco or otherwise. So there can be some spit disposable mechanism. There can be a disinfectant for the virus spreading, disease surveillance system, air filtration system. So all these are in place, and slowly we are seeing a lot of innovations in this. Diagnostic solutions, we have mobile diagnostics, telehealth, remote patient. As I told you, that these are all things which are now becoming common. There are at least 100 plus apps, including AI and IoT, which have come up in the last few months, which are actually related to healthcare. So I can go on about this, but we'll not be focusing more upon that right now. Hospital care is one aspect where we have robotics involved in hospitals. That means what? That when right now the problem faced by the doctors and the healthcare workers, nurses, ward boys, etc., are that they have the risk of catching an infection. So now probably in the future we will have such hospitals where we will have doctors sitting in the particular office or particular dispensary or hospital rooms, and they will be monitoring online what the patient focuses are, vital parameters are, and robots would actually be doing the work of going to the patient, checking the patient's vital characteristics. They will be communicating it to the doctor via the apps, and and then they would also be serving the medicines. Everything could be done through particular, even the cleaning, hospital cleaning can be done by robots. So all this is going to be the future which we are looking forward. Now we are dependent upon the health workers because we don't have any other choice. But if they are given a choice, probably they would like to shift from that particular ward to some place which is safer. So here we are talking about hospital robotics. We are talking about 3D printed ventilators. Lot of systems, 3D printing has really gained a lot of focus right now. I'll show you one slide where probably we'll talk about 3D printing applications. Artificial cuff. So a lot of monitoring devices in healthcare system has been developed and are in the focus of being developing. Then you have public safety during pandemic. So we have drone delivery systems where we have robotics and drone monitored systems. We have specialized isolation systems in place. We have mobile support applications and outbreak visualization. Like suppose if healthcare department wants to visualize the outbreak in a particular area, they can visualize it through particular devices. They can get the entire dashboard where they'll be able to monitor how this particular disease is spreading and in what domain or what area it is spreading more. So that distribution can be monitored. So AI is going to be AI, IoT, cloud computing. All these are going to be the future, and cyber security, because we are going online. So cyber security is also going to be a big game changer over here. So when we talk about AI transformations, I'll not be going in detail about this, but I'll just tell you climate change. Actually, one more positive that happened out of this particular new normal characteristic is that we got a clean environment for during the lockdown stage. What I mean by clean environment is that we were having a lot of pollution, which actually stopped during the lockdown. We had birds from various places coming, migrating and settling here. It was found that a lot of birds noises, which I mean birds which were actually we have not seen, monkeys we had not seen in our vicinity. Now they actually started coming. This was one of the best examples of probably the positive things out of this particular lockdown. But looking at climate change, it has to be again clean power. We are looking at clean power where AI can transform the things. Smart transport options, like we will be going for a lot of options where we are avoiding individual vehicles being taken. Sustainable production and consumption. So we need to sustain ourselves accordingly, and we need to look at the consumption angle also. So a lot of AI solutions are there for that. Sustainable land use, how we are using the land, how the land can be protected. All this can be done with the help of IoT sensors and AI combined. So a lot of things are there. And the vision of the government is smart cities and smart villages. So probably there AI and IoT can play a big role. When I'm talking about AI here, I'm talking about AI connected with IoT, because we cannot have anything without the sensors. And also we are talking about cloud storage, because now huge data is huge. Even the social data monitoring is in huge quantity. So we have a cloud-based solution for the data storage. Biodiversity and conservation, you have a lot of I mean how we are actually looking at our waste disposable mechanism. I would like to combine the second and the fourth point. It is biomedical waste as well as normal waste. How we are disposing it, how we are actually recycling it. All this depends upon a lot of solutions. So now there are smart IoT based, AI based robotic solutions which can help in water security, which can help in biodiversity conservation. It can give a clean environment, clean air. So in Delhi, you might have seen that during some months like December, etc., it becomes quite foggy, and like most of the oxygen levels, it becomes very difficult for the people to breathe even. So probably we can look at clean air solutions. There have been some helmets also developed which can actually purify the air within. So there are a lot of changes coming here regarding clean fuels, early warning regarding particular systems, pollution levels, etc. So a lot of changes are coming here, and AI is powering those changes. I was talking about 3D printing earlier. Now, these are some things which we may not be probably aware, but 3D printing has actually been used in a lot of such applications like medical devices, ventilator walls, masks, uh, testing devices like the swabs that are there that are used for testing. Though we dislike it because we are not comfortable when it is used, but still that is designed, and it is 3D printing is used for that. Personal protective equipment like face shield, respirators, personal accessories like face masks, etc. So a lot of such particular devices, I mean particular applications are there for 3D, which can be a big game changer in the future. So if we are talking to our students regarding what are the disruptive technologies, then probably these are the disruptive technologies which are coming up, like when we are talking about digitization, we are talking about robotics, we are talking about 3D printing, we are talking about IoT, AI. All these are going to be game changers going into the future. So these are some applications which are developed by this particular university called Chula, and they were very fast in doing this. Now, this actually first one, COVID-19 Robo COVID was developed, which actually does all the, which I was talking earlier, that when we are talking about healthcare facilities in hospitals, patients, some of the functions can be done mostly by these robots. That means they don't require the intervention of doctors at every level. Doctors only need to be involved where critical patients are there. So other than that, probably it can be managed through robots. So we can have an infection rate being reduced, spread of this particular disease being reduced to a large extent in hospitals, because hospital is the major way where the spreading takes place. So this can be stopped there, and we can have robots providing medicines, providing facilities to the patients. So this is one robo COVID which was developed. And strip test service, this gives the result within 10 minutes. So this was developed. Newly designed face shield, which are very much more effective because there are a lot of risks for the healthcare workers. Shielding masks or shielding, so there are some kind of particular fabrics which are used, which can actually shield you from the virus or the negativity of the virus. Then, so these are all some of the apps. One app was regarding donation also, which is the last one I have displayed here, which actually involves willing. It's a willing app wherein anybody who wants to donate, actually, because from this university some people were actually not technical people, so they said that let us do something. They were the accounting people, so they said let us prepare an app for the donation side and how to route the donations to the particular people. So this was what we are talking about here. So negative pressure cabins were built up. So this I'll be showing you one of the images for that. So a lot of such innovations have actually driven in the last 16 months, have really changed the way the whole focus is there. As I was talking about, I have given the details also here. I'll just skip this. I'll go on to the negative pressure cabins. This one more is important. Lung care application, which will actually by blowing into the microphone of a smartphone, results will show how well your lungs are working. So this will actually give an idea to the doctor also that what is the particular level of infection in the lungs, or how the lung is functioning, etc. Now this will help because people are not going to the hospital. They can use this from their homes itself, from the mobile app. So this will actually reduce a lot of cases of infection spreading, because normally what happens is in the second wave, what has happened is that people with a little bit of health problems have immediately rushed to the hospital. This has made it more problematic, because what happened is that people with less infection levels, or without, even if they did not have any major illness, when they went to the hospital or when they visited the doctor, they found that they have got the infection from there, and after 3 or 4 days again the infection starts showing, so then again they are hospitalized. So this can be avoided, but this particular application can help a lot in avoiding this. Billing application, as I told you, this was developed by the Faculty of Commerce and Accountancy, and this actually matches a donor to a recipient in terms of not only money but other things also. So according to McKinsey, actually these are 12 potentially economically disruptive technologies which are going to change the future, right? 3D printing has already started changing it. Autonomous and near autonomous vehicles, because now people are not willing to take the risk of public transport where a lot of people would be there. So we are talking about even the driverless car, which is going to be in focus. We have advanced oil and gas exploration and recovery. That is one technology which is going to change the whole way, because now petrol and diesel prices have increased. So we are facing this crunch also. Automation of knowledge work. Again, we are now going to focus upon intelligent and non-productive work. When we classify that, actually lot of work can be done by human beings which are intelligent. Now we are having robots, or we are having humanoid robots which are replacing individuals. Like in schools you have assistant teachers as robots. Many schools have implemented it in Japan, China, and also in Bangalore one of the schools have implemented, and they have found very good results. We are talking about advanced materials, next generation genomics. This is a very emerging field, because now we are talking about medical advancement or pharmaceutical advancement. So we are talking about breaking the virus chain, etc. So we need some kind of medication for that. We need the DNA sequence to be talked about. A lot of features of this are being worked out right now. So genomics is one area where probably AI, machine learning is being used to very good effect. Advanced robotics, as I told you, that robotics is going to be the future. We are now using robots in very limited quantities, but now we'll be seeing that with the help of I have seen many houses in Ahmedabad where they have switched to a robot for the cleaning the house. They have stopped the maid. So this is going to be one of the reasons why we are going into advanced robotics, where robots will be taking the role of individuals who are doing the mechanical work, and also maybe intellectual work. Energy storage, again, we need to go for energy, renewable energy. So that is the storage, renewable energy, and energy storage. These are two basic areas where a lot of technologies need to be developed. Mobile internet is a necessity. If internet is not there, I mean, just we could visualize that if the connection is gone right now, the entire focus would be shifted to a chaos, because there would not be any kind of mechanism to replace that. So mobile internet, cloud technology, as I told you, that cloud is going to be the future. The cloud is being used for storage, for proper secure data exchange between companies and individuals. So cloud technology is also being used for sharing software and hardware services. So this is where we are finding a lot of changes coming in. And we have AWS, we have Microsoft cloud services. So a lot of such cloud services are coming into the picture. Internet of Things, as I told you, that IoT is one of the biggest game changers, because without IoT, it's not possible to move forward. As I told you, these are some of the apps. I'm not going to go into all the details, but I'll just give you the basic idea of what these apps are according to the classification. Actually, these are the apps which are developed in the last few years. Specifically, last 1 year, more apps have been developed, which are looking at clinical efficiency. We are looking at more accurate results, and we are looking at results without the public having to go to the particular lab and give the test. We are looking at robotics. We are looking at robots collecting the samples from your house, taking the blood, etc. Right now, what happens is that if your blood is to be given for testing, either you have to go to that test center, or a person comes from the test center and he or she takes the blood sample. Now that also is being changed, and robots are going to take that place. We have clinical grade biometric sensors which are used. There are a lot of apps regarding that. Consumer or home monitoring apps are there, which you can monitor your health at home itself. Infant monitoring, we have for specifically for infant the monitoring, because there is no vaccine for children right now. So that is again one monitoring that needs to be done. Sleep monitoring, how sound your sleep is, what are your health parameters while you're sleeping, all this is also being monitored. There are various apps for that. Fitness wearables, actually Apollo had come up with this particular concept, that they provide insurance policies. Apollo, I don't know the entire name, but Apollo, they have tied up with Apollo hospitals and they have developed an app wherein they give a solution that they have the app installed, and when you actually walk along with it, I mean, when you take a policy from them, they get that app installed in your mobile, and then you can monitor how many steps you are walking daily. Now, if you are walking a minimum number of steps in that 1 year, then your premium reduces. You get a particular discount because you are aware about your health. So that is what they have classified. So it's a very good concept of uh, promoting health awareness. So this is what has been done. There are brain sensors or neurotechnology related apps or devices which are actually also very famous. Fitness wearables are there. So these are all game changers. I'm just giving you some ideas where probably a lot of transformation in terms of innovations is coming, and technology is being used for that. Now, this is developed in actually Thailand. This is a negative pressure isolation room, wherein if a patient having some symptoms is there, uh, there are very less chances that this would actually move out of that. And there are some particular small holes given there, and there also the protection mechanism is given so that not more than 5% of the infection can spread from that isolation room. So this is something which is innovation which we are talking about. This is the swab collection and dental work that is going on now. See, the swab collection is taking place in the first pick, where there are less chances or almost minimal chances that from that isolation cabin it would be leaked out. So even if the patient is positive, there are less chances that the attendant who is collecting the sample would be affected. Dental work, again, the entire framework has been done that in such a manner that the people who are operating are not affected. This is a very common sight right now. We don't want to touch the disinfectant machine also. We just have sensors wherein they see the movement of the hand, and accordingly they are allowing. Some devices are there which are controlled by the leg, where you can just push it by the leg and then the things come. But then this is a better innovative option. Now, when we are talking about smart solutions, we are talking about e-governance and citizen services, where we are talking about public information, grievance redressal. So all these areas, we need technology in a big way. And probably the idea of the government of implementing smart cities and smart villages requires all these particular features to be implemented in around pan India, so that we can have smart solutions for this. Like, there are a lot of apps which have started working on this. Video crime monitoring is that there are some. I had just one research paper I was just going through. I don't know whether it has been implemented or not. In that, actually, through image processing and detection, actually, if railway station is there or if a particular area is there, that needs to be monitored. Now, if you have a lot of people coming and going in that area, and that is daily monitored, if there's any uneven movement, if there is any devices with weapons, etc., which is detected in that particular thing, there are mechanisms to alert the police. Now, police cannot actually be at every place. So now policeman role is going to be limited to sitting at a particular place and monitoring what is happening. Just like this e-challan system for traffic violations has come. Similarly, we'll be finding that now police will not be visible on the roads or at crowded places. They will be monitoring everything, movement, accurate movement of the people through CCTV images and through image processing, and video crime monitoring can be done. So this can avoid a lot of lot of crimes taking place. And citizens, city eyes and ears, that means citizens can monitor what is happening around them. So that mechanism is also there. So these are all the solutions that are required. Waste management, there's a huge demand for this particular, because right now what we are finding is that we have healthcare workers of AMC, which we call here Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation. Similarly, all the municipal corporations have their own workers, sanitary workers, who are actually going and collecting all the waste from different societies, etc. Now, all this is very risky. They don't have that much kind of precautions being taken, like gloves, etc. Many of them don't actually even have a particular hand gear or headgear to protect their face and this from the dust and infection. So the better choice is that we have robots involved. We have robots actually taking the place of these workers, and these workers can be used to monitor the thing. They can be upgraded. Now, when I'm talking about robots taking the place of all these people, what I'm talking about is that these people who are losing their jobs because of this may be promoted to some other place, and they may get some new skill which they can use for better salary and better packages. So we are talking about all these work being substituted to a robot. And recycling also, robot can also actually, there are smart uh, dustbins where you actually, garbage cans you can say, where you put the dust accordingly, it gets classified into a particular category. So this is also possible. A lot of work is being done on that right now. Then you have water management, because water is again, save water campaign is going on right now, and we have seen that water is a big challenge. Some are saying that if this water usage or water wastage continues like this and water management is not done, then probably by 2025 we would not be having water for our daily use. So this is something which needs to be looked into, and IT or IT solutions, AI, machine learning, IoT are being used collectively for managing this particular segment. Energy management, these are the ideas which actually are going to be the future. Energy management, this is my favorite topic, because one of the edited books that I'm going for with River Publishers is regarding green energy and sustainable ecosystem. So we are focusing upon this, and this has a huge research potential going forward. Urban mobility, we are talking about smart parking. Right now we are seeing that parking space is not there in cities. So we are talking about smart parking solutions. We are having intelligent traffic management and integrated multimodal transport. So we are talking about urban mobility. A lot of solutions are there for that, and a lot of other facilities like tele-education, incubation or trade facilitation centers. So all these are going to be the future for smart cities. Some devices I'd just like to tell you which actually are replacing human beings here. Toilet cleaning VR robot is there. Actually, it does very effective cleaning, and this actually is hygienic also. And human beings many times actually, some people are lethargic, they don't clean regularly, even though they are being kept for that job only. So that can be avoided here. And this is a device which can actually do a lot of good work. Garbage sorting robots, which I was talking about, right? These are all now actually a reality. Now, one patent which I was talking about is that we have prepared a robotic arm for plucking of underground weeds, underground spraying of fertilizers, etc., underground, as well as collecting fruits and vegetables which are grown underground. So for that we have developed that. So this is probably the future which we are talking about. Agribot sprayer and Agribot is there, which will look after the facility. Farmer doesn't have to go there. He doesn't need any kind of labor, because right now labor is also scarce. People don't wish to go to the fields because they feel that it is not safe for them, because social distancing norms are not being followed. We have smart AI and IoT waste management system. As I told you, that these are all modern equipments which are being used, IoT solutions, and robotics can also be added to this to give you a better information here. Now see, in the dustbin, garbage bin, there are sensors fitted, and these sensors give the information to the municipal corporation or to the collecting vehicle, which particular area the dustbins are full, what is the amount of the dustbin that is full, which kind of waste is that. All this segregation can be done here. So this is what we are looking at for the future, and all this data is stored. Now we can have such a mechanism where government actually monitors the data, and they also monitor that, okay, the dust coming from this particular house or society is not organized properly. They are not classifying it into separate things. They are not following the norms. Then that particular societies can be penalized. So we'll have better awareness of waste management among the people, and recycling can also be done. So these are the garbage truck location can be monitored, and everybody can monitor where the vehicle is, and vehicle also knows that where to collect in priority, and accordingly it can be done. The same can be replicated for many other domains. We have robotic police. Actually, some places where you have terrorist attacks and such, people who are anti-social elements going about and creating a ruckus, you can have robotic police employed, and they can be viewed and monitored by the actual police sitting in the headquarters, and giving them instructions. So these are all robotics, humanoid robots, which can take the place of police. This is actually not from India, but then this image can be a reality in India. We have an AI powered robot assistant for the hotels. We don't have a guard right now standing outside the hotel. We have a AI powered robot assistant, actually, who does even the parking for the vehicles. Wallet parking can be done, and this can be managed by the robot. So we are talking about a lot of solutions here where robots are involved. Humanoid robots in a international school at Bangalore, it has been implemented. The lady standing there is actually not a teacher. She is actually a robot. You might have heard about Sophia. Sophia is the first humanoid robot actually, and this Sophia was given the citizenship of UAE also. So a lot of changes coming in the way we are going about education also. And probably this was very much, this experiment by the Indus International School Bangalore was received very well by the students, and students were really happy, and it increased the productivity of the students as far as learning is concerned, right? And this is also in Japan. Pepper, the robot from SoftBank, actually this was used for banking operations. China, we have Japan and China, we have a lot of robots being used in schools, and this is really increasing. And for lower classes, especially, and as well as in colleges, it is increasing the interest of the students, because many times it happens that teacher may be biased towards the student. Robots are not biased, so this can help the environment of teaching develop. Some schools are using robots as an assistant teacher. Some schools are using it as a major teacher. So both the roles can be played. Now, as I talk about IoT, etc., I would be talking about drones also, because drones are the future where we are going to talk about drone management in a big way. So drone can be used everywhere. It can be used also for security surveillance. It can be used for crop monitoring, animal monitoring, uh, building and equipment monitoring. Now, these robots and drones that are being developed, one argument that most of the people are making is that the cost of the drone is high, or the robot is very costly. Humanoid robot is very costly. When I put my project proposal for this, I'm working on a humanoid robot proposal for this particular rural application. That means rural education purpose, government schools, etc. We can implement humanoid robot. The cost of humanoid robot, when I actually asked, it was ranging from 3 lakhs to 10 lakhs. Now that is very costly. There is an example right now, just recently it was in the newspapers, that e-waste robot has been developed. E-waste humanoid robot has been developed. That is quite cheap. So we are looking forward to such applications which can change the whole dimension of how we are looking at technology with the common man. So common man is going to benefit from this. So drone can be used for many applications, and the smart data can be stored and can be used for a lot of decision making going forward. This is the future of farms which we visualize. We don't have the farmer anywhere. He is sitting, yeah, he is here. Farmer is sitting here. there's a modern farmer which we are talking about. We had earlier farmers committing suicide and all that. Now we have probably farmers sitting and operating the systems, laptops, computers, and more mobiles, and they would be giving instructions. They would be having all the farming data at the fingertips, and they would be texting cows. They would be giving instructions on how the cow movement is there, that can be monitored. RFID tags are here, sensors are here. So drones are actually giving you the data. So survey drones are there. Agribots are doing the agriculture work. So you are seeing a lot of smart tractors. These are autonomous tractors which are self-driven. They need to be just monitored from here. So this is the future of farms that we are talking about. We'll not have people toiling. We don't have that. As soon as farmer name comes, we some people start saying that they are very big people. I mean, they are very mahan log hai. उनको मेहनत करते रहते पूरा दिन. Now the definition will change. Now technology will work for them. So this is how what I was talking about. This everything can be monitored through technology with AI and IoT. So fertilizer, how much input to give, how much water is required. Right now, maybe the farmer is wasting a lot of water because he's feeding the entire farm with water when it is actually required for only certain segments. So IoT with the help of sensors, we can see how much water is required, how much fertilizer is required, in which area, which leaf requires treatment. All these things can be done effectively with the help of IoT and AI. These are all some of the applications of smart city challenges which we are having. Autonomous car actually has a lot of challenges because we are talking about autonomous cars replacing human-driven cars. But again, the problem is, what about the public sentiment, public mindset? That needs to be changed. So public mindset, if it is changing, then autonomous car will become a reality going forward. Image processing has a very big function over here, wherein we are talking about image processing at a faster rate. Now, robotics, I want to emphasize upon because this is going to be the future. Robots are minimizing the error and delays. They are giving an increased productivity through 24/7 utilization. They can decrease the potential cost of operations because it's a one-time expense, then it's going to be beneficial for the company. It can improve the value chain. It can be used for hazardous use also, where you don't want to risk human beings. It can enhance the customer experience because everything is going to be governed by the people sitting at particular offices, and it eliminates mundane tasks because human beings are very much mechanical. They don't like mechanical tasks, so robots can actually reduce it. So coming to the challenges here, I would just like to, before going to this last slide, I would just like to go for the challenges. The challenges here are that robots are costly, that needs to be reduced. Second is internet connectivity is a big challenge in cities and rural areas, the speed of internet connectivity, etc. So that needs to be monitored. If that is properly done and internet connectivity is given, then probably this can be a game changer. Also, we have mobile penetration is less in rural areas compared to urban areas, so that needs to increase. It needs to be cost effective. If that is the case, then probably we are looking at better days ahead. Now, new normal mantra, I would say that people are talking about social distancing. I would just change it a little bit. Social connect through online and through other devices, and physical distancing is required. So I would end up with these comments. I hope some new ideas have been generated in your mind. It was useful for you. I would once again like to thank Dr. Prakash and team for inviting me for this keynote address. Thank you very much, and I'm open to questions if there is time.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, sir.